plenty of other TF radio shows you can tune into. Get yourself listening in. There's a Telefunken Radio Facebook page. If you search Facebook for it, it comes up. Get in there, click like, tell your friends, listen in. You can download all the shows as a podcast. There's plenty of links there on the Telefunken Radio Facebook page. Get in there, listen to some shows. I've seen plenty of people have been chewing up some of the old shows. Yeah, we're getting like 100 people listening to some of the shows. That feels like big time, because we spent about 13 years with no one listening to any of our stuff. For those of you that don't know, Telefunken is a collective of people that grew up together in Suffolk, in rural Suffolk, and we used to just get kind of lean and go down to car boot sales with 10 quid and buy shit Casio keyboards and weird drum machines and stuff, and we just used to sit around and kind of improvise tunes, and it kind of developed, well, I wanted to say it snowballed into something much bigger, but it never really transcended that. The only difference is that we all live on different sides of the globe now, so the only way we can kind of hook up for these weird jam sessions is like through the power of the internet and stuff like this. So for anyone listening, you're just kind of listening to some guys having a bit of a wispy jam session. So big up all the people that are persevering. Big up all the Lincoln Massive. Ooh, yes. No. Right, okay, let's knock up a tune from Fresh. Here we go. Telefunken Radio. Yes, bigging up. So all the listeners listening in, you got to big up yourselves and say hello to one another in the chat room. We got quite a lot of Lincoln crew in there. We got Giampiero in the chat room. Long time no see, brother. Bigging up Giampiero, best human I've ever met. So while we're here, I just need to fill some dead air with some. Here we go. With some kooky synth sounds. Ooh, oh yeah, woo, woo! I'm flying. Ooh, I'm sinking. Ooh, depths of despair, depths of woe. I'm feeling better now. I'm so depressed. I'm so depressed. I feel better now. There we go, big raise. I've got to be careful I don't overdo that echo thing on my mixer. So yeah, Telefunken Radio, get yourselves onto the Facebook page. Don't bother trying to buy any of the merchandise, because it looks like Kosh Holdings and Telefunken Industries are going to shut us down. Just thought I'd maybe bring a new feature into the show, which is something that I'd like to do moving forward, which is talking about crushing English naval victories. And one of my favourites, I mean, I did a lot of reading around the subject, It was one of those Wikipedia trains I got into that you can't get off. The Wikipedia roller coaster you can't get off. Okay, we need a suitably nautical. Is that nautical? Yeah, I suppose that sounds like. Yeah. Okay, so I was reading up about crushing English naval victories, of which there are many to choose from. My favourite, though, was the Battle of Lissay in, I believe it was in 1811. And it was a small, in fact, Giampiero is listening in. He may well have heard of this, because there were some Italian belligerents versus a small force of frigates, British frigates, that were protecting a small island called Lissa, which is in the, I believe it's in the Adriatic Sea. I think there were about 6 French and Italian boats that came flying down the Adriatic to try and besiege Lissa, but they weren't ready for Captain Gordon, who was in a boat called the HMS Active. So HMS Active with Captain Gordon, they were moored up. Just there was four boats moored up on the edge of the northern side of the Isle of Lissa, and the six French frigates came steaming along. It was Captain Gordon that could see what their technique was going to be, and they were headed straight to kind of ram into the side of the British ships, led by the French flagship, captained by de Bourdieu. And Captain Gordon read the situation. He could see that they were going to try and smash into the side of them and board. They were massively outnumbered. But he had the genius plan. He got that they had more boats. He got that they had the advantage in numbers. So he ordered a large 5.5-inch howitzer onto Amphion's deck. And it was triple-shotted, which is they fill it up with musket balls. They filled it up with over 750 musket balls. Once the French lead boat, Favorite, was within a few yards of Amphion's stern, Host gave permission for the gun to be fired, and the cannon's discharge instantly swept the bow of the Favourite clear of the French and Italian boarding party. Among the dozens killed and wounded were the Captain de Bourdieu and all of the frigate's officers, leaving a junior colonel in command of the boat. The boat went a bit wayward, drifted onto the rocks and broke up. It's a crushing victory! Okay, raise. So, I hope we got a decent listenership going on tonight. Good to see a heavyweight presence in the chat room. I'm hoping that these sessions are helping get the guys through the crunch times, the dark times, the heavyweight times. I'd like to put a big shout out to the localization crew if you're listening in. Big shout out to all current localization crew, Brazilian crew, Korean crew, Japanese crew, all of them boys, all of the crews, and GP coming from the old Italian crew. Good old GP, right. What's that? Okay. Oh, okay, yeah, I can go with this. Right, okay, we're gonna loop up a tune here and see what we can get. Big up, raise your status, Telefunk and Radio. Yes. Bigging up everybody. This is a heavyweight show, Wednesday night, Logic session. Remember, you can download this as a podcast. Just head by the Telefunk and Radio page on Facebook, and it'll link out to the Spreaker site. You can download the podcast. There are tons of other podcasts there as well. You need to check out the Flatbush Homegrown podcast, which is done by the station manager in New York, playing all of the fresh tunes from this little collective of guys that make all this tut. Get on there, check out the Colast Hour, live from Manhattan and Brooklyn, New York styley. I believe that's every lunchtime, unless that's died a death. Clouds. Okay, right. So what we're doing? We got a couple of minutes left. Let's see if we got another tune. We can quickly. What? Oh, okay. Yeah. What's this? Okay. Build it up. So all of these tunes I've been making over the last few days, making the loops on the electrode. It's basically a big fat loop station. There we go. Typical concepts, interesting chat. Okay, let's had enough of that. Crunch. Okay, so we're coming up to the end of the show. Big shout out going out to Stephen Bell. He's going heavyweight, doing some crunchy shifts. I just wanted to finish. I had a really interesting chat with a great guy from work, a guy called Dave Fahey. He's really into reading around the subjects of physics, particle physics, quantum mechanics and that. And I tried to get him to explain to me how something is here. What is mass? What is it? What is my fingernail? What is an apple? How does it be there? Now, I've probably not worded the question well enough, but this was his answer. He said that everything was in a quantum jelly. Everything was in a quantum jelly. And mass was simply where two waves within this quantum jelly intersected. I asked him, what's the quantum jelly like? And he said, horrible. So big up all the listeners who've been listening in tonight. We're coming into the end of the show. It's always 45 minutes. Great that you could listen in. Great to have your continued support. Make sure you've pasted the link on to other people so they can enjoy the show as well. I'd like to big up everyone who's in, all of Rockstar Lincoln, all of New York, all of Lincoln, all of London. Raise your status. This has been Telefunk and Radio. Logic.